It will create the energy to get to that momentum. My belief is that you said in 2025 you're going to have this studio. By putting out the energy here starting this very Monday, it's not going to take you that long. But it's going to, by starting the energy today and saying, hey, these guys gave me a lot of stuff. A lot of people joined. There's a lot of stuff to hear. But I can't take it all today. I'm going to listen to this thing 10 times, hopefully, easily. You're going to listen to what we've shared a lot.
Yes.
But what do I start on Monday? What do I do then? How do I take a bite-sized thing? I'm just going to change my website. Say, I'm going to own a studio in 5 years. That could be the very first starting point. Because a lot of times people will have a goal, and we probably all know these people, and we probably were this person at some point, where we've got a goal, and we get so paralyzed by the goal because it seems big. And so we don't do nothing. Oh, we wait.
I'm still that person sometimes. I don't know what you're talking about.
Or we wait for somebody to rescue us to do the thing. And, you're like, I ain't got nothing. I can't. I want to own this, this thing, but I gotta wait for this thing to happen, and so I do nothing. And you've already taken these steps. What we're telling you and the audience, whomever's listening to us today, is that take a step on Monday. Don't drive yourself crazy. Getting an LLC and getting a 501c3 and getting everything you need to have a business is 10,000 times more easier than it was in 2010.
Yep.
Yeah.
In 2010, you would have to call up people. You'd have to go and get your boy to know a boy to know. You'd have to do all this stuff. As far as an investment is concerned, you wouldn't be able to invest when you're on. You'd have to go get some guy. You'd have to come out the pocket massively to do all these things. All these things can happen now. And they can happen relatively quickly. And that's why we believe that businesses are a force of the common good. So I know we threw a lot at you, Nas. I want to get your comments. If any of it was unclear, we are definitely ready to share again and make sure it's as clear as possible for you and for the audience. So hopefully you found some value in our convo so far.
Oh, yes. Very helpful, very inspiring. Just giving me some direction and where I need to go in regards to, like you said, going to my website and putting, hey, in 2025, I will own a studio, and this is what my studio will look like, and this is what it will consist of, and this is the objective of the studio and what we plan to do in regards to the community, especially with the young kids. A couple of years ago, well, not a couple of years ago, a couple of years ago, because I didn't do anything in 2020, right, because of the pandemic.
That's
not
right.
The pandemic. But yeah, 2019, I worked, in a school with kids, and I taught them media studies, and I just loved it. I loved it.
That's
and not that I want to teach, but I just love helping young people, I guess, have options, showing them how wonderful filmmaking is. They might want to do something else, but I just think filmmaking is so wonderful, and there's so many things you can do in the world of film. Other than just be behind a camera or in front of a camera. It's just you can be a set designer, special effects, makeup. It's just so many different things that you can do and have fun, and I just really love it. And so I do believe, 2025, that will happen. And I see a lot of other things happening too in the studio. So you gave me some vision. You helped give me that vision, because I was saying this is what I would like to see. Now I'm saying that this is what will be in 2025.
That's right. One of the things I think that's so cool that I know of you and your leadership is that, and this is the same thing that we have here for the Surviving Business Show and all of our entities, is that having principles is a key thing when you're going about a business venture. And I know your spirituality is a really important piece of it. And I hear it in everything that you do. And putting that up front in regards to all of the things in your vision, I think is a key component that sometimes I hear missing from businesses sometimes. Sometimes businesses will say, well, it's about this margin or about our great product or our great service. And sometimes they'll miss the reason why, the spirituality, the power behind what that means. Because that's what connects with people. People will remember the principle of an entity even more so sometimes than they'll remember the product of it. So when you think about all of this vision that you have and all these things that are going to happen, make sure that you continue to share that. You could care, I know you don't today, but make sure you could care less about what somebody says. Sometimes people say, oh yeah, this person is this way. Like, who cares? It's your business.
Yeah.
And it's your principles, and that's how it is going to be. And a lot of times I see people who will change their principles on a whim. Somebody said, well, you got to make something that people going to want to buy or people going to want to see. People want to get with people, authentic
Yes.
people. They want to.
Yes.
That is
Yes.
sometimes more than they just want. Because if you capitulate who you are to make something that's a product for other people, it ain't gonna be NAZ. The whole thing we talked about, NAZ, Panky's branding, is gonna be somebody else's thing. So
Yes.
don't compromise that throughout your business path. That's a key.
Yeah. I think what Winston's saying right here is very key, especially when we talk about creative businesses, because there ends up being this time where, yeah, well, you need to cater to a wider audience, or you need to, change this so that it can fit into this, right?
Mm-hmm.
For years, I worked in banking, and I worked at some of the largest banks on Wall Street, and it would hurt me sometimes that they would be like, well, we need to get rid of some of our small clients because we're not making enough money off of them, right?
Mm.
We need to focus on the big guys because that's what drives our revenue, right? And I'm like, but what about when those small guys become big guys and you have like them from the jump and all of a sudden they become huge, right?
Right, they're gonna remember.
They're gonna remember that. And for creators, it's this difficult line now on the production side where you're creating your own stuff and you got your own studio. The beauty in that is that you can control that, right? You have greater control over that, right? You're not just an artist that's out there that's like, okay, I rap, and now my rap, and I used to like to rap about conscious stuff, but in order for me to make it, I gotta become a gangster rapper, and then I gotta try and like put one or two things of knowledge in here to make sure that people like understand that I'm not really just gangster. And then years later you breaking down all your gangster raps on what you really meant, but no one got that. Instead, like people out there selling drugs because of what you say.
We all know those rappers, and they didn't go far, or they went far. Yeah. That was the end of it when they changed their principle.
Yeah. So yeah, staying key to who you are. I think that's great. And that's like that's embedded in your model, right? So I think when you talk about having a 501c3, right, and you're going to like be teaching the youth the business, right? You're thinking about not just the business, but you're thinking about the legacy, right? And legacy of institutions, and not to be putting extra weight on your back, right? But it is the legacy, right? It's the legacy that you walk with, that we carry. All those people of color that live in this country, we know it, and I'm just excited to see what's going to be happening in 2025. But what else do you have for us? You have any other things that are burning you?
Well, I guess investments too. I know we talked about, like you said, investing in myself is, so you answered that question, is part of the branding and the investment in the company. I guess for me, because I never learned financing and and I know it's never too late to start learning now. That's where I'm at now. I want to start to learn now where to go with things, because I do believe that I have content now that studios would not now, I've had it, but now willing to share my content with studios, larger studios and networks, to get more funding for more projects. And I want to make the proper investments. I want to make the proper choices. I see so many people, they have opportunities. They don't know what to do with the opportunity, what to do with the money, and it's here today and gone tomorrow. And I don't want that. Like you said, David, I want to leave a legacy, not just for the business beast mode, but for my family as well.
Of course.
So
I think one of the things I hear a lot, and I have some insight into our creative world, is that there is a resistance to figuring out how to take the great content you have today and making sure that you monetize it some kind of way. Because the studio won't accept it because of this, or the studio won't accept it because of that. That is a fallacy. We don't have to we can go as close as Insecure to see that that's a fallacy, where that was a YouTube video that turned out to be a phenomenal HBO show. And that's a thing right there. So when you think about how do you start today on this, NAZ, and how do you take what your great content is today, and this is something we can obviously help you with, is how do you make sure that people understand it today and how do they help contribute to it? So this is great because it makes me think about how you can interweave your 501c3 into this overall vision. You create your 501c3, you're getting donations because you're getting donations to create more content that are based on your spirituality and your overall vision of what the future is going to look like. So you're doing that all linking together, right? So people will donate to it because they want to see more of this kind of great content. As opposed to waiting for some studio, and they may be like Amazon may say, yo, Nas is dope. We need more things on Prime. We ready to go.
Yes.
But they will be even more ready to go if they know that you got a thought about, hey, I'm going to take what I got today and make it happen. I use like a weird analogy of 30, 40 years ago when people were selling these CDs out of the back of their trunk. But it's sort of like that in a way. It was like, yo, I got stuff. Why am I waiting for the record company to tell me now's time for now they're going to put me on? I'm putting myself. So taking your great content and say, yo, you got a YouTube channel. You probably got more than one, if I recall. You got all of that going on. You've already teaching young people. All of that funnels into your 501c3, and that helps you to drive more production of films, which gets you to the studio. All of that happens that way.
Yep.
You follow that? Yes. So, Dave, you got a comment on that?
Yeah, no, I just know that I still heard Nas mentioning, that she wants to build up and understand like the stock market and that type of deal more. So the stock market and stuff, I think that's a separate venture from Beast Mode, right? So Beast Mode is doing what Beast Mode is doing. Stock market plays and stuff that you do, that's going to be Nas Panky learning how to invest some dough that she can then reinvest into Beast Mode. But it's a separate. The two animals are different, right? So,
yeah, I think philosophically it makes a lot of sense. It just does, because I believe the same thing that you do, that investing in entertainment companies specifically, we all need investment in entertainment companies. There's these things called ETFs, which are like combined of a bunch of companies, that today they offer some for entertainment companies. My opinion about this is like, man, we need an ETF for all of us independent people who are out there doing something. Not necessarily an ETF per se on the market, but an ETF where we collect our funds and we help other people get their stuff done. That's what I mean, where we got a combined pool. And the challenge with that, and this is our personal challenge, is that we've always got our ego in place. Like, yo, I got to go first or I got to go second. And so we got to work together on that. And having the principles that we talked about earlier, having that, hey, all of this stuff is spiritually based, helps us to overcome that kind of stuff. So it's a lot, Nas. This is phenomenal. I've loved every single moment of it. And I want to make sure that you don't walk away like, hey, these guys are great and there's a lot going on, but I didn't get a chance to ask this or that. So I want to make sure that you get a chance to ask us anything, even if the stuff that we said. If we said it too fast, because we can say it too fast because you're from the Bronx, we from New York. We can speak a million miles a minute, and we all know what we're talking about.
Yes, I talk fast anyway. That's true.
Right. But is there anything? Go ahead.
I feel like you've answered most of my questions, and my biggest thing was which way to go. Should I go Nas Panky, Beast Mode? And like you said, Nas Panky is Beast Mode Entertainment, so that's great. Just to have the right way to look at it, because that's going to help me do what I need to do. And I could say that today, Nas Panky walked to the top of Stone Mountain for the first time.
That's an awesome. That's an awesome
and
investment.
When I made it to the top, it started snowing.
That is awesome.
So I'm already working on Nas Panky, because Nas Panky needs to lose some weight. Then Nas Panky sat down at the restaurant,
we all
and I didn't
do
eat
that.
no cakes and no biscuits, but I kept it healthy on top of that. So now that you tell me that, I have to just continue to work on Nas Panky, and this has been just so helpful, and thank you guys for taking the time to sit with me, just to help me just get some direction, because that's what I feel like. I feel like this meeting today gave me direction and which way to go. I know that I am ready to start to shop a lot of the content that Beast Mode that we have. I know that I have a great brand in regards to being a phenomenal producer, which is great. I've done some, just recently last month, produced, directed a feature. That's in January. February, produced a pilot, very successful, and I have some more stuff just every month something's going on. So the brand of producer NAZ, screenwriter, director NAZ is very good right now. So just want to continue, like you said, to build on that. The more successful projects that I have, the more work and the more people will trust me. I'm building credibility, and it feels good. This is a place that I feel God has led me to this moment just throughout my life, right? Just how everything started. I was a school bus driver, and I was driving Steve Wilkos' daughter every day. Didn't know that I was going to actually go to school and study to be a filmmaker, TV production, media studies. That's my degree. That was my major in my degree, and had no idea that I would need an internship. And when I did, Steve Wilkos said, "Yeah, bring her in." She was always on time. She great personality. So my first job before I even graduated was with NBC, because of course, they said, okay, we're gonna keep her around, after that internship. Went from Steve Wilkos, Jerry Springer, Maury, down in Georgia.
I'm sure you had a lot of fun on the Steve Wilkos.
BP, or everything. But just all these different jobs, I can say, coming out of college and working showed me how it takes everybody. It takes a team, really, to make these productions happen, because there's so many different parts that we all have to, different parts, one body, right, working together to make it happen. And just even in college, my major was TV production, but my professor was a cinematographer. And he was amazing. And he taught me cinematography. He taught me how to tell a story through the lenses. And I never thought that I would use that when I was learning these different things. I never thought that I would use it in life. But just how, our whole life is a setup and God's working behind the scenes, right? And, just the journey that has led me here, that I'm able to do what I do now. And this is just from experience and being in certain situations and having to learn certain things, or having people teach me certain things. And so that's how NAZ Panky came to be. And I want to be able to pass that on to other people. And one thing I can say about me is I love to see people walk in their passion. So if it's something that I see when I'm on set, if I see somebody says, oh, you know what, I like gaffing. I love telling the story through lighting, or I love to write, or whatever it is, then I want to try to find a job for that person to do. Because I know how important it is for us to walk in our passion and do what we love. I don't want to work any more jobs that I hate. I don't want to clock nine. I don't want to work a 9 to 5. I've worked so many jobs, and just to survive. I've done hand to mouth for so long. That's not what I want to do. And yes, I want to make money, because not that I'm worshiping the money, but I know the money is going to be able to help me to give to people, right, to get to that next level. But it's really about me waking up every day, doing what I love, and saying, okay, if I die tonight, I did what I love. I accomplished what I wanted to accomplish, and just not going to bed feeling like, damn, I'm stressed out. I hate my job. I hate my life. Oh, I'm not doing what I love. I didn't accomplish it. I don't want to feel like that. So I just want to be able to be at a place where I can continue to do what I love and walk in my passion. I don't want to ever go back to that life of, not that I don't regret driving a school bus. I don't regret any job that I had in the past, because those jobs made me who I am today. I don't regret it, but I just don't want to go back there. I want to continue to walk in my passion, because that's what makes me happy.
When you share what you share, I always get this thing in my head that what NAZ is doing is a calling, which is even a more grand thing than even just your purpose. It's something that you've been called to do. And the one thing that I love about all the stuff you just shared, you were talking about what you're doing in Beast Mode, but there's a whole group of human beings that's around all of that stuff that you're doing. And they are feeling that energy, and you're helping to transform their lives as well, which is an amazing thing. And that's what our hope here is in the Surviving Business Show, is that we talk to people who are out there who are trying to make it in business and trying to understand who they are as a person and how do they figure out what's that next step and how do they figure out whether this thing is a purpose or a calling or both. How do they do that together and how do they make it work? Because as challenging as the place is that we live, right, we're a dysfunctional family, this place called the United States of America. We're dysfunctional. We just a dysfunctional family. But at the same time, we have this ability to get up and say, you know what, I'm gonna be a filmmaker tomorrow. I'm gonna do something else to the next day. That's a beautiful thing. I don't know if the people who created this country thought about it that way, but I'm glad that we're here right now and we can do it that way. That's a phenomenal way to be. And so someone, if you're out there and you hear what NAZ is talking about and where she's come from and where she's going, that's the same thing you can do. You heard us talk about legacy today. No one is going to remember what you got. You're not going to remember what you bought. You're going to remember the amount of love that you had, the relationships you had with people. You don't remember a thing. Besides that, I was talking to someone recently about some company years ago, and they were like, what about this company? What? I was like, well, who do you remember from that company? They're like, oh, I remember such and such. I was like, that's more important than the stuff you did at the company or that you did in life. That was the deal. And so when you're creating a business, and this is why we created this show, is that the business is about business and making sure you got money and revenue, but it's also about all them human beings.
Yes, that's what I always say. I say people remember how you treated them and how you made them feel. People always remember that. It could be 30, 40, 50 years later. They remember how you treated them and how you made them feel. I say kindness will take you places in this world that money will never take you. And that's a fact.
That is powerful stuff.
And that's why on my set, Winston, I try to keep positive people around. I keep the morale up. We're doing this thing because we love it.
Yeah.
So I'm very particular about who I work with and just keeping, we all come together and we work hard, but we love it. And I don't ever want to lose sight of that. Like, we're doing this because we're here because we want to be here and because we love doing what we do.
You know,
there's no big eyes and little U's. There's no disrespect. There's just let's come here. You know, let's come here with love and kindness. Yeah. It can get tough sometimes, but we have to always remember to be respectful and to be kind to one another. And that's the type of set I run. You know, I don't care if you changing the garbage or if you're the person who funded the project.
That's right.
Everybody gets treated with respect and
there's
love.
There's a lot of books that have been written and a lot of people who get up and talk about what leadership is and what it isn't. But all of what you described there is authentic leadership. All of the stuff that you do for those people aren't necessarily just doing it because, oh yeah, ain't none of them making $1 million working on your set, but they are doing it because they believe in you and you got their back. Yeah. And that's real leadership. That's a level of leadership that some people never aspire to. It's a challenging thing because we as human beings, those who try to aspire to leadership where they serve the people that they work with first are real leaders. They are not the people who got titles or the people who got the most money or the people who are the people you see on TV and movie shows where there's like, yo, do this, that. Them leaders don't work anymore.
Yes.
This is all about knowledge. And all the people who drive on set, they got knowledge about what they do.
You know, I've driven, done chauffeur, whatever you want to call it, work where I've driven, matter of fact, for the NFL, which was the Super Bowl, I drove big football players, and I was there at the Super Bowl. Yes, y'all, I was with the football players, straight with them, and I drove a lot of celebrities, and I have to tell you, there was one. I'm just gonna say his name, Post Malone, and I drove him on Super Bowl, to do the Super Bowl, the one they had here in Atlanta when they had the Super Bowl here a couple of years ago, whenever it was 2-3 years ago, I don't know. Anyway, what I remember about this guy, and I don't know Post Malone. I mean, I didn't really know him. My sons, they know him, but I would be honest, I don't know the dude. Went there, drove in, picked him up off his jet. He gets in the car. He holds the door open for his girlfriend. he has all these security people or whatever, but he's like, nah, he gets the door, holds the door for his girlfriend. This is the guy who has like the tattoos all over his face and, you know, and the colorful hair. And I'm like, okay. And I'm playing my music that I like. I don't know his music, not one song. Okay. And I said, if you want me to change the station, I can. Because I'm like, okay, this guy is some sort of pop star. He probably wants to hear his stuff or whatever. And he was like, oh, no, the music that you're playing is fine. He's, you know, he was so polite. He said, can I smoke in here? I was like, no. He was like, okay. He was so polite. And he was so kind. And I didn't know him. I knew he was somebody big. But I just remember the kindness. I was like, let me download all of his songs. And I remember how loving he was to his girlfriend.
Yeah. I tell you,
just how sweet he was. He was so sweet to that girl. And that's my point. It's not really about money. It's about how you treat people. Remember how you treated them.
Yeah,
I remember, and also I did the All-Star.
I was going to tell you that I keep forgetting I will never have a conversation with you without reminding you that your story itself is a movie. We got to make the NAZ Pankies movie. It got to happen because your story is that great. It's got to happen.
Thank you. I tell people it's a miracle. Yeah. It's a miracle that I'm here. I'm sitting right here, you know, in my right mind.
That's right.
It's a miracle, and I tell you, what I do today saved my life. What I do today, because I was like, okay, it has to be a reason. It has to something has to give. It has to be a reason. It has to be a meaning why I'm here. Why am I here? And we all want to have that purpose, right? Why are we here? But I'm like, why am I here? Why am I still here? It must be a reason. And this is the reason. And they say my slogan is creating stories that make a difference.
That's powerful.
If I can't create something that's going to touch somebody's life and make a difference in somebody's life, it's not even worth creating.
Keep that in front of everything. Put that on your email byline. Just every single time you interact with someone.
Okay.
It's been great. It's been great to have you, Dave. Any comments for the audience that's out there listening to Surviving Business today?
I just want to say, Naz, thank you for coming on. Your last set of comments that really set a high bar for, you know, whoever comes after you, you know, to try and, you know, tell us about their businesses, right? Because a lot of times folks have different reasons for going into business. But I think that those people who go in business for passion and because they're really doing something that they love and something that they feel like there's nothing else in the world that they would rather be doing, those are the people that we really want to help.
Yeah.
Thank you.
That's awesome.
Thank you so much for having me. Really, it's been a joy. Like I said, I have direction now, and that's what I need. Winston, we met some years ago. I always say nothing is by coincidence.
That's right.
And Winston is a powerhouse. Winston is
thank you.
Really, really amazing and has always inspired me. But just I love how he does business. I love how organized you are, how you have everything kind of set up and planned out. So
thank you.
Thank you. It's just an honor. I feel really blessed to be a guest on your show today. And I thank you for all of your advice. And, you know, I am definitely going to take it.
That's awesome.
And start to execute it in my life and walk every day, you know, with that goal that in 2025 I will have a studio. NAZ Panky Beats More Entertainment will be a studio. And not only will it be a studio, it will be funding projects and we will be helping out inner city kids in the community to walk in their passion.
That's so awesome. Ooh, you said
helping them create through the arts.
That's right. That's so awesome. If anyone wants to connect with you, how do they do that, Naz?
Well, I'm on Instagram, beastmo_Naz. My email address is nazpanky@gmail.com. My website is nazpanky.com.
That's right.
Facebook, NAZ Panky. Google, NAZ Panky. You'll find me.
For For those of you who are out there and you want us to talk about your business and see how we can help you, please let us know. Just hit us up. Tell us, this is what I got. Like David said, you're going to have a ways to go to match up to the wonderful NAZ here today. But we believe you can. We believe that every single one of us that's out there who's got some passion and some business they have, they need to survive. 2021 is our year for us to make sure that we're all moving in the right direction. We all live in the roaring 2020s. And so once we beat the pandemic, I think that's what NAZ called it, we are going to be on this next level. So thank you for joining the Surviving Business Show today. Please subscribe. Let us know what you got, because we are here for you. And remember, we believe as businesses are a force for the common good. Thank you. Take care.